Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I'm Laura Mester of Laura's Stamping Legacy Studio, and we're here tonight for a Maker's Monday. This is Maker's Monday number 73. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Northern Kentucky. I've been a demonstrator for 5 years. I'm at the silver level right now, and I have a team of 5 demonstrators currently that work with me. So that's my story. I need to hear your story. I'm watching to see who's coming in. As soon as someone comes in, we can get started. Oh, I see somebody now. Welcome in. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. Let me know that you can hear me. I always like to double check. I don't take anything for granted when we're talking about technology. I usually do a little run through earlier in the day, and earlier today my camera wasn't working. So, oh, hi, Cindy. Welcome in. Can you hear me? So I did fix. Oh, hi, Barb. Oh, great. You can hear me fine. Great. And my camera seems to be working, which it wasn't earlier today. So I think we've gotten past all that. So, yes, tag people, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Since I'm a one-man band here, I have to switch around with my comments and my banners to get people to come in. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've done one of these. It was busy summer. I'm sure everyone was busy with things, and I'm no different than that. There was traveling and baseball. There's still some baseball left, but I really don't know after yesterday's game how much more baseball we can all handle down here in Cincinnati. The year did not go as we planned, but I still like our team, and I still have hopes for the end of this year for some good games and for next year going forward. I don't know. I know, Cindy, you're a fan. So that last game was a little hard to take. I was listening to DJO all day, the oldie station. And boy, that announcer was really broken up about it too. So I wasn't the only one. So, and we're back to summer heat. As much as this is the end of summer, here we are again. So I'm glad we're inside. Oh, you're going to the game? Ooh, yeah, I have a game on Friday, Cindy. So I'll have to bring lots of cool drinks. I think it'll be a little less worrisome by then, but it'll still be hot by any means. So yeah, I got to get the last games in that we can. But before we know it, I mean, the kids are back in school, and this heat will be gone, and we have to get ourselves ready, right? Fall is coming. We're going to be gathering for holidays. We're going to need fall supplies for fall cards and fall projects. So that's why tonight I will do some unboxing to show you those things. I did get some things in. And we can talk about that. I'm going to do that at the end. But there are some wonderful new supplies, both online and in the catalog. So we're going to have a great time looking at that. Also, I want to remind everybody that there is a host code that's closing tomorrow. So I'll put that up for people. I can put that up again later as well. But it closes tomorrow, the 27th at midnight. And we have a nice little workshop going with some rewards of almost $20. So that's exciting. I'll go back to the comments. Sorry, I'm missing them. Oh, you're going for the concert too. I think you'll have a busy night there, Cindy. So, but anyway, if you haven't placed an order or thinking of it, any of you watching later, I know, Barb, you're in on this one. And Cindy, you're a teammate of mine in my Wishful Inkers team, which I'm ever thankful for. So you're doing your own ordering. But if you are needing to place an order before the end of the month, you might want to consider getting into that host code that's going to close tomorrow. So moving right along, before we get to the demo, because we're going to do a new challenge card tonight, I want to talk about just a couple things. Like I said, the host code ends. We already discussed that. And then the fall catalog will go live. The fall catalog will go live on, I don't think I have a banner for that one. Oh, yeah, I do. On September 6th. I had the date wrong in my head. And for some reason, it doesn't say that on the catalog. So the fall catalog goes live on September 6th. And that will be at 2 a.m. Everything is based on mountain time. So at 2 a.m., our time is midnight mountain time. So that's when the catalog goes live. So, and the third thing that I want to remind everybody about, in addition to the bonus coupons, if anyone has some of those need to be used by the end of the month. But the DSP sale, the Designer Series paper sale. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome in. That will end on the 31st as well. So a couple things to think about going forward. But without further ado, let's turn down and we will get to work on this next challenge card. See if I can take that off for now. There we go. Kind of a little tricky when you're playing with the buttons by yourself. But let's go ahead, and it's not turning down. I'll just switch over to there. We are doing the new challenge card. For those of you that don't know, I usually demonstrate a card design, and then if you're watching and want to take part in this, you can just create from watching what I did your own version of the challenge card. Post a picture of it in our group. If you're not in the group yet, you can join our group. I'll add you in. You can request to join. I just like a separate group for those things because sometimes people are a little shy about sharing their creations and stuff. And that way it's not open to the public. It's in our private group. But if you share a picture there, I pull a prize from all those that complete it. So it's just something fun that we do. But that's how we operate the challenge cards. This challenge card will run until September 8th. Yes, September 8th is when you've got about 2 weeks to finish this one. So like I said, we're going to do an unboxing of some of the products in this new catalog. We'll do that after the challenge card demo. So I'm going to put that aside for now. I can't show you anything in there. I'm so sorry. Again, this is our host code that closes tomorrow. So you can get in on that if you wish. And this is our challenge card that we're working on. I'm going to make 2 versions of it today. It's a very simple card. It's called a punch through card. I had seen this a couple years ago on Karen Titus's website or her Facebook. I keep losing my little AirPod today. Sorry about that. But and I had been wanting to make one for some time. And then I noticed and I made lots of, this is fun. This is easy. I made multiple versions. This one's just a different color of that one, of this card. And when I visited my son on the way home from our summer trips, I think I've told you all before that he decorates his walls with the cards. So, and you know, when you hang up I hang up my Christmas cards. And does anyone else hang up cards? I do put cards on my mantle, but when it comes to Christmas time, there are a lot of cards. So I'll hang them up like on some ribbon over a door in the shape of a grid pattern. But when you hang up cards, they tend to do what? They tend to flip open, right? So, and I noticed that he had cards on his walls, and you have to put a little tape in there to hold them closed. Maybe some of you have taken pictures of your card and done that. Well, the beauty of this punch through card is that this is from the retired Walk in the Woods set, which I love, this little hedgehog. This isn't the best example of this, unfortunately. I didn't put enough dimensionals on it. But you do a punch in your card base, and then you have that punched size cut through. And then you have either something that you've stamped or a sentiment or some Designer Series paper that is raised up with your dimensionals. And then so when you close it, it actually holds the card shut. Some of the other ones hold a little better. This one got a lot of beat up use already with me showing people. But this is one example of it. I embossed this one as well. I'm not sure if you can see the embossing on there. But there's all kinds of things you can do when you put this together. Let me get the dimensions up for you so y'all can take a look at that while I'm jabbering here. Okay, there you go with that. I won't leave those up forever, I promise. I know they get in the way, but it gives you time to write them down. It's a regular A2 size card that opens this way, the long way, which I don't usually do. We typically either open them this way or we stand them up and open them this way or sideways like that. But this one is designed in this direction. So there's one example. I wanted to give you examples of ones that I've done and then we'll go ahead and demonstrate. I don't know where to put him. I've got so much today. Let's put him all the way up there. Here is another example. This one used the current Hooray for Surprises. I think that's in the annual catalog. I forget. Either that's an online exclusive. Hi, Terry. Welcome in. You're not too late. We just started the demo. You missed my one more thing or last thing I talk about beforehand. That's all. So this is one example of this punch through card. Another one. This uses a different punch. This one held a little better because it wasn't a smooth edge. I noticed for that. I did the same as with the hedgehog here. Well, I did this with stamping and coloring with watercolors. This one is just using the stamp set because it was two-step stamping. I guess it's one-step stamping to make your images. And then to do a background here, instead of the embossing that I used on this one, I did some background stamping to fill that in, and a couple pieces of designer series paper. And there's the punch through. So if you lift this off, see, that's going to hold that shut for you. And then it becomes part of the interior design. So quite a simple card, but there's a lot of, once you start making these, they're kind of fun. And you can use a die if you don't have a punch. But there's a trick to doing them with the punch, which I'll show you. When it comes to this one, I used some designer series paper. This was the Meandering Meadows paper that's so pretty. And I did a circular punch, and I did emboss this one with that texturizing embossing folder and put a few little butterflies on there. So if you use designer series paper, it's thinner than cardstock. So I would back your punch piece with a separate piece of cardstock, which is what I did with this one. So I did the designer series paper punched, and then I punched some craft paper for that one, but you could punch some white cardstock and layer it under there. So, and that's another one for the punch through card inspired by Karen Titus. Karen and Tim. They're a team. They're so fun to watch. This is one I'm going to demonstrate for you. This is from the Brood for You set. Again, that same concept, just a different punch. Okay, and it holds it shut. And it won't open up. So I just thought that was cute. So let's go ahead. And I did a Christmas one because we can never have too much Christmas. And this one, I did stamp a sentiment, but I didn't have to create extra stamping. I just used DSP again. So this, and I stamped on there. So let's go ahead and make these real quick so you can see how easy they come together. That's why I was making so many. I've made a lot of cards the last. Who else hasn't been busy crafting? I have made a lot of cards recently. So, and these are just the tip of the iceberg, as they say. So the trick to this, and I'm going to get these out of the way so you can see more. But your card base is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 to make your card base. I went ahead, since I was pre-working, and I have mine background stamped already. You need 2 pieces of designer series paper, and it may be confusing on there, but I want to explain. I used one sheet and just flipped it over. You could do, where'd those cards go? Now I'm wishing here it is. I talked about different sizing. You can change the size of the background layer that you layer your other piece of DSP on top of. I didn't do that on any of these, but when it came to, well, that one I did. Okay. So when it came to the more plain colors, so when there was a lot of pattern, I did the 2 1/4 as your background layer, which all these have that. When it got to be more of a plain color, I changed my background mat to be a little skinnier. And especially when I did the black one. So I just gave it, you as always, it's the design we're making. It's not the exact, thing I'm creating with. So you can modify that background panel a little bit if you want to, depending on the look you're going for. one part that helps if you're punching. If you're using a die cut, you can line it up. But you want to take your punch and got to open it up. If no one's ever used our punches before, there's a little locking mechanism on the back that you pull down. I'm going to move these for now, girls. Oh my goodness, you've been in the uniform room, Terry? That kind of gives me PTSD, as they say. Let's take those down. I'll put the dimensions up again later. You get a pass for being late, for having to put up with all the measurements. It's always a busy time of year when the kids come back. So you want to take your punch and you can put it all the way in so you feel it against the bottom. And then you can see the edge and line it up. So if you go all the way in, you'll be putting them all in the exact same place. And just give it a good punch. And that's as hard as that is, really. Then we're just going to layer. When I was stamping my inside, of course, I did it ahead of time. But I laid this in there. I don't like to secure it until after I've stamped. And then I just put this through without, it's crooked, but here we go. Shouldn't be crooked to fit in. Hold on, girls. Well, I'm a little crooked on my thing. It'll look tipsy. I'm not sure how that happened. The other one was straight. That looks all right. But I did this when I did my stamp so that I could line it up in the right place. So just a tip. But this will be your inside panel. And you can really do a bunch of these quickly if you get them all your paper cut out. I usually use glue, but sometimes for being on camera, I like to just move a little quicker. So there's that. You want to put that in first. You can go ahead and put your layers on. There's really no right or wrong in which way you want to do this, although you have to put your white panel down so that you can put your punch through it. I must have not been exacting when I did my stamping on that punched piece of paper. But luckily, it's a glass of an adult beverage. So if it's a little tipsy, it'll look like I intended it. That's one thing to remember when you're crafting, is that nobody knows what your real intent was. Are you still there? Have I lost you? My earpiece fell out. And you just layer your pieces and get them on there. And put your dimensionals on your back of your cardstock. This is a project that will use up some dimensionals. Oh, you're sewing at home. You weren't in. Did you have to measure the students or did someone else do that for you? That was always kind of a fun time to see how much the kids had grown from one year to another. All that's in the past now for me. Well, at least for now. Well, I don't know. I don't wish for my kids to get busy fast on the grandparenting scheme. So I don't think I'll be doing uniforms again in this lifetime. So then you'll fit that in. And if you've stamped it correctly, it won't be crooked. But if you're off, just be careful when you're punching that you line it up the same. I punched this piece ahead of time and so had it crooked. But it's an alcoholic beverage, so that works out perfect. So that goes in a little crooked, and I'm fine with that. And a few of these up here. Like I said, I had done this ahead of time to make things go fast. Oh, it would help if we took off the backings, right? I do have a little trash can hiding there because I don't want to find dimensionals everywhere. I've been picking them up around the table from our last crafting. They seem to just fly, don't they? And then you could put all kinds of things on here. but I'm going to add these later. I don't want to make all the crinkle for you, but I'm going to put a couple of the embellishments on either side of that one, and that one will be done. This one is one of the ones where I use DSP. So I can layer that and let you see that. So we're going to punch that one. Same way I showed you before. Some punches are probably easier to line up than others as far as putting it through. So I'm just going to give that a punch. I might come in a little bit this way. It's a little thin on the edge there. I won't need that. I guess I could have used that to background it right there. That's a good idea, isn't it? Okay, I wouldn't have needed to punch the extra white, so I'll save this. Like I said, since this was DSP, it's not very thick. So I'm going to put some, excuse me. I had a tickle going on there. I'm going to put some adhesive runner on there and just layer that up as good as I can. It's a little off because I'm working on camera. This is, I'd be better with glue on here because you really could line it up better. Yeah, I wish I'd done glue. All right. Hold on. I got to come down here off camera a little bit to get it lined up. That is why I like glue instead of snail, because you can really, really line it up. That's better. It won't show because I backed it with the same color. You have to put this down first before you stick this down. When I watched Karen Titus on her Stamping on the Back Porch, she kept putting this through without the back panel. So it's fun that her husband stamps along with her. I can't imagine my husband stamping alongside me. Yeah, the measuring takes forever, Terry. I do remember. I originally started with someone who was a seamstress helping me, so that was very handy. Now they have those button-up pants, so those are a wonder. Okay, see you later, Sylvia. Can't wait to see what you make. You're going to miss the unboxing. You got to come back and watch the end. And then just put your dimensionals on here. Make sure you, I don't often use like an overabundance, but you want your edges to really hold firmly. So, see, this one I didn't put the DSP down first, but that's okay. This designer series paper, I meant to tell you as we were talking, the one with the cheers with the card, this one, I didn't put the embellishments on yet. That's a 6x6 pack, and all the color families come in that. So this was the Regals. So you get all the Regal colors with all those patterns. So these are always in the, I want to say they're always in the catalog. I'm sure they're in the catalog, and they're also online, but these are always in the catalog. They always have a basic designer series paper set with the same pattern in all the colors, the in colors and all 4 suites. So those were the papers I used for the one for the Brood for You card. For this one, I used a set of Christmas papers that were from last fall. And these are the St. Nick, that's not the name of it. It's Traditions of St. Nick. And this is still in the online store. And I don't believe the dies are still around, but the Santas are not difficult to fussy cut. And there's a lot of nice vintagey looking paper in here that I've used for a lot of things. So, and that's where this little stocking paper is from. And there's some that's got the cookies, old-fashioned cookies, and just an old-timey look to it. So this was what I wanted to do because I showed the stockings hung on the mantle with care. So it's a little snail, and I put stars. I didn't have a stocking stamp, but I had stars. So that's as easy as these are. So get this done and move right along to our unboxing. So I keep looking at everything and I'm just like, there's so many cards I want to make. Does anyone else ever get to that point? You see all these things you want to make, and I try not to buy more than I can make. And I've got lots of ideas right now, but I got to make more time. So, and that's it. This one will be done too. So I expect to see, that's why you only got 2 weeks, but this is so easy. You need to complete these by September 8th. Okay, I've still got some people here. EA, haven't lost you all yet. But just line that up. I always eyeball everything. And I used to have one of those laser, those of you that scrapbook, have you ever seen those laser line, the laser lineup things for getting things straight? I remember I've tried the laser thing. I've used that several times, and then I was eyeballing it. My eyeballing it came out almost better than the laser stuff. So I've gone to eyeballing things as much as possible. And I think I wanted some, I'll put some embellishments on this one too, just to sparkle the front like I did on the other one. But that's as easy as it is. So have at it with that one, girls. But yes, we want to get to our unboxing. So yeah, I know. Don't you wish you could, like, on your lunch hour at work or something, Barb, just pull out your crafting stuff and start working? So presuming you get a lunch break. Maybe people don't get lunch breaks anymore. It's been a while since I've been in the official workforce. Seems like I've always had things to do, but not things I often got paid for. So, alrighty then. So I think, yeah, you've all seen that and stuff. Why don't we move on to the unboxing while we're down here? And then I have a few things I want to finish up with in the end, the things coming up that we need to know. So instead of putting the huge box in here, I'm just going to, I took the things out. Oh, thank you, Cindy. And I'm just going to show you things as we go here that, like I said, are in this new catalog. Let me see if there's a banner we need up here or not. I think I didn't do that many banners today. Everyone got the dimensions right. If you didn't, I can throw them back up again. I'm going to put this up there since we're talking about the fall catalog. All right. That's where, if you ever watch some of these demonstrators, someone else is doing all that. They've got like a helper. It's just me, myself, and I here. Even my husband's gone back into work tonight. He had things to do. So these are all out of this catalog that I'm going to show you now. I don't think that any of them were online things. First one is adorable. It's almost like, and I got these and I thought I should grab those. And then when they came, I'm like, oh, these are really nicer than they even looked in the catalog. So these are little peppermints, and they come in, I think, 3 sizes, or at least 2. No, 3, because there's a real little bitty one here. So it comes in 3 different sizes. Look at that. So I'm like, okay, I can think of all the things I want to do with this, right? I'm going to pull out the gingerbread set. Remember, we had a paper pumpkin gingerbread set? So I'd love to pull that out and use this with it. Rebecca's not watching tonight. Rebecca Feltner, she loves all things gingerbread. So Rebecca, you need to get a pack of these. They're adorable. Here's something really interesting. I didn't have them when I was making my fall cards for the crop on Beachmont on the 7th. These are, what are they called? Woven gold leaves. And woven is a terrible word to try to say. So woven gold leaves, and I called corporate about these leaves today. Those of you that were at, I don't know if we did this when everyone was at the table at our get together, or if it was later. Tanya showed up late and some people had left. So I don't think we did this till after, because I was showing Tanya things. But these in the catalog and on the back of this package say peel and stick self-adhesive woven golden leaves. Well, we tore one apart with a take your pick tool trying to find the adhesive. Let's see if I can get some white here so you can see. See, there's the gold. And there is no self-adhesive on here. And I called corporate today and talked to a customer service rep, and they actually got some on the line and figured out that that I was right. Somewhere along the line, they have lost the fact that these are supposed to have adhesive, and they aren't on there. It doesn't make them any less wonderful. They're very pretty. If you look at them, they have ribbing on them already, which it's really hard to see, but they have nice little jagged edges. And I watched some when you can actually crinkle them up, like, because if you see leaves, they have all kinds of lines and stuff. So if you crinkle them up, then they get even a little more texture to them. So I'm looking forward to using these for my fall Thanksgiving things. So I forget how many are in here, but there's a good bunch of them in there. It tells us in the catalog, but I'm not allowed to open that on air. So, but there's another thing coming in. So I thought that was interesting today. You know, mistakes happen. These are awesome. I want to show you two things together here. I want to show you a stamp set. There's a background stamp set called Falling Snow. And it's, if you're not familiar with background stamp sets, they're huge. And they're the size of our biggest block. You can also stamp on them by leaving them in here and putting the paper on it. I use the Stamparatus that I still have. This one almost looks like it's like a bed of nails, is what I thought. It's got all these little bumps on it, right? Well, I went ahead today and did some pre-work so I could show you. So this is what it looks like when it's stamped. Can you see that good enough? I'm worried about the lighting, but it's just really subtle. I took Pool Party for my background panel, and I just used Pool Party ink to give that tone-on-tone look. So this is a lot of fun. You can make a lot of quick Christmas cards with this background stamp. So that's in the new catalog coming on September 6th. And I can't have enough snow, especially as we're sitting here all in this heat dome. I got snow that doesn't melt, even if I take it outside in 90-degree heat, which I'm pretty sure it's still 90 out there, even though it's 8 o'clock at night. I don't think it got much below 75 last night, which sounds like Texas weather. These would be perfect. I was thinking I would use them as embellishments, but they don't offer these as much as they used to. These tubs full of embellishments. But these are all little snowflakes, different sizes. Look at them all. Oh my gosh. Time to make some snowman cards. Look at that. So I could see these making fantastic shaker cards, right, girls? Oh my gosh. Cut out a snowman shape and put some window sheet in there. So if you don't have window sheet, get some window sheet and pick up these snowflakes. Wow. Okay, that's going to be fun. While I'm showing you things, how many I got on here? I got 3 of you. While I'm showing you guys these things, think about, I need to decide what I'm going to make for our workshop on September 29th. That's my next in-person workshop here at the house. We always have one project that's the calendar. Well, I have another project to make. So what should it be? Should it be Falling Snow shaker card? Or should it be the next thing I'm going to show you or the next thing I'm going to show you? So you have to vote and let me know what you think. Oh, yes, that would be perfect snow globe shaker card. Who's got the snow globe, right? I don't have the snow globe. I have things I can use, though. I can make a window. But anyway, so this could be one idea of a card. We could make a shaker card with a falling snow. There's one idea. So think about that. You guys can chime in, and everyone watching later that's tuning in and watches it like on a replay, you can make a comment and vote on what you think I should make for the in-person workshop on September 29th. So we've looked at all this and that. This is when it starts to get messy. All right, what's next? Oh, ribbon. Ooh, when we were talking about the snowflakes and that falling snow, look at this. I'm going to put that out of the way. Oh my gosh. Okay, down here. This ribbon that was Pool Party paper, that's what made me think of that, is a Pool Party ribbon. I don't know what the fabric is unless it tells me here. It's called the pom-pom ribbon. You see little pom-poms? It's adorable. It's really soft. It is rather big. I don't usually go this big with my ribbons. It might be a 1/2 inch or it might be 3/8. But I think with the pom-poms, it's probably 1/2 inch. But I can't remember anything quite like this. And I think that's going to make really pretty, pretty cards. Look at that. You could just do this and put a sentiment on top. You could put a big snowflake on top of that and then a sentiment. So look at that big spool. I just love it. So anyway, this is the, what's it called? Pool. Oh, it's just Pool Party, but it's called the Pom Pom Ribbon. I can't give you item numbers now either. That's all part of the, gotta wait till it comes out, because then if you try to order it, messes things up, I guess. This is the last. I have 2 more bundles to show you. This is the last. I didn't get any paper this time, but this is the last embellishment ribbon that I have. And then I have my 2 bundles. So this is, of course, wild wheat. And we always talk about wild wheat. This is called rustic striped ribbon. And it's wild wheat. Let's see if I can get some white paper here so you can get a better, those are my notes I'm supposed to be talking to you with. So it's got really bold on the outside and then a little more mesh. You can almost see through it actually. Some white lines in there. So that's really pretty. Very, very soft, very easy to tie. So there's that. Okay, here's the next bundle. I always take my bundles apart, and I don't know, how do you store your dies? I store my dies inside the stamp case. I get a piece of a magnetic sheet, a flexible magnetic sheet, and I store that inside with the stamps. So this is called Hang an Ornament. And I wish I could show you the pictures in the catalog, but I can't. But I got the stamps and the dies, and I put the dies into the stamp case. So it comes with 2 different ornaments, and it comes with, it doesn't show you this. It actually has a stamp. Well, it doesn't have a stamp. It has a die. So, and a leaf and a holly. I don't know. I think that might be the hook for your, that is a hook for your thing. Pull. Now there's a clue. What kind of stamp set do you think this is if it has the word pull? I'm not quite sure what to do with the big dot. I guess they're probably supposed to be berries for the holly. Just for you and all is merry, which are sized to fit in the middle of those. So my stamps are in here. These are your dies. Where are they? Here they are. So this, I cut the dies out because it's really hard to see without doing that. So you've got one for the ornament, and then you've got the other ones for the sentiment, and you get extra dies. The arrow is extra. Why does it need an arrow, right? And then the holly and some of this. This is a great little die here. Can't see. That is the topper for your ornament. So you could cut out from gold and put a little gold or metallic at the top. Because I was changing the color to stamp it, and I realized, oh, we can just cut out something gold. I didn't go to that extreme today. I was just trying to give us the idea of what it is. But here are the dies. And if you look, it is just like, where's that stamp set gone? I've got so much layered over here now. But the Hooray for Surprises, if you remember that one, it had the surprise windows you could open. That's why there was that word pull. So after you stamp your ornament, you can create a card with this ornament panel on the front. I don't think you can see here. The purple's not showing up because that's stamped. That's die cut as well. But it die cuts it with a perforation, and then you'll with an arrow point to that and say pull, and then you can lift off your ornament. And then they can hang that on their tree, and you can write just for you, or what was the other phrase? There were 2 different phrases, or you can find a Merry Christmas that's that side, or all is merry. But see, there's your ornament. So you can decorate that however you want and have a couple of those on the card or one on the card. So you can send them a card and they can take the ornament off and they can hang it on their tree if they choose, because there is actually a hole for hanging on there. So I thought that was really neat. I hadn't seen anything like that. So I could totally see this stamped in Versamark on a solid cardstock color, and then put gold or white on there, and that would be gorgeous. So that's another idea you can vote on. You want the snowflake with the shaker card, or do you want one with the ornaments? So we could make that. And then the last bundle I have, the last thing in there, better move it along, Laura. We're losing our viewers because they went too long. So this one's called Peaceful Season. And I realized I wanted more sentiments. And this is a great sentiment card because it has large block sentiments for the inside too, or at least large in the sense of how many words, not necessarily large in size. So there's a large Christmas with a die that cuts it out. And the dies are wonderful. Wait till you see them. And then sayings for the inside, like friends and family are the true gift of Christmas. That's a great saying. Thinking of you with warm feelings and a wish for all the merriest. Wishing you all the things that warm your heart and lift your spirits. I really want that one for someone in particular who's not in a good place as far as celebrating anything. Hoping this season is bright and beautiful. A season of wonder and happiness. So just a lot of combinations that you can do. Not only love from our home to yours, but love from my home to yours. Because not all of us have an hour that they're sending from. So I just thought that was really good and you could use for a lot of things. Now, here we go with the dies. And instead of showing you the dies, I'm going to show you where they're cut out. So I cut them out down here. And remember when I said there was Christmas? There's also a Christmas word die and a Christmas shadow die. So that's the word Christmas cut out with a die, and then the shadow of Christmas. So that's really, really nice. And it was very easy to cut out. It does have a dot for the eye. So you have to keep track of your dot. And it says some wonderful, these are tags that have lines in them as well. It's really hard to see with that purple. But I should have done it in a lighter color. But all of these dies have designs in them, subtle designs. And these have designs in them too, like they've been corner rounded, if you know what I mean, like debossed on them. So it has something that debosses on all of these little ones. And I can't show it inside the catalog, but just picture these on the front with a sentiment on them, maybe in gold with Versamarked, and a ribbon going through them to go across your card. So I just thought this was really, really a neat set. So if you have an option, oh, Shirley, it didn't pop up. I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure what goes on with everything, but yeah, it's kind of, Facebook doesn't do what we want anymore. It does whatever. No, I guess it always did whatever it wanted. But it shows me in one place, but not another. So you always got to just keep checking. You never know. I always do one a month, unless it's summer vacation or Christmas. But these were the dies that I showed. And those of you coming to the workshop on the 29th, if you are thinking something in particular, you can help me figure out which card I should make as our second project. Maybe something with these wonderful label dies for the Christmas, Peaceful Christmas, and the Christmas, big Christmas sayings. Maybe something with these hang an ornament dies that you can make a card and it has an ornament that can hang on their tree or anywhere around their desk. I would hang it from a computer screen even. And then there's the snowflake with the snowflakes that could be in a shaker card. So all kinds of ideas. So anyway, let me get me over across here. Thank you to those of you that have hung in there and you're still around. I'm glad are just finding me now, Shirley. You can go back and look at the rest of the things that I ordered if you're curious. I don't know if you've placed an order or not recently. I did see that they finally opened up for us to buy Close to My Heart as well. And I did look at that. They were out of the flip flaps I was looking for. But that's it for now. I should get myself over here. Here we go. It's been a while. There we are. Thank you all for tuning in. I have a crop on September 7th over in Beach In Beachmont, it's the scrapbook crop. It's a fundraiser for the Boy Scouts. If any of you are looking for something to do on September 7th, it's at the Immaculate Heart of Mary. If you're in the Facebook group Crop Opportunities, it is listed in there, or you can contact me. I can give you more information. I'm a vendor at this crop. So if you end up at the crop, you'll be able to do the make and take card that I have. It's a fall themed card. Or if you just want to get some work done, that's a good thing to think of and support the Boy Scouts. So that's on September 7th. Oh, okay. Watch it till that makes sense. Thank you, Shirley. Also, if you want paper pumpkin on the 10th is the cutoff for this one, which has watercolored ephemera pack, and as an autumn abundance has a fall theme, a very nice fall theme. So, and I think that's it. The next live, like I said up there on the screen, is September 23rd. So if you have any questions or need any help, let me know. And after you've watched this, vote just to help me decide which of the things what you'd like me to see as the second project for the workshop on the 29th. And maybe I can help figure out something that people are looking to make. So I'm looking for inspiration from you. So thanks for watching. Have a great night, everybody. If you're still here, thank you for persevering. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Happy stamping. Good luck with your challenge cards. Bye-bye.